For this video, it's going to be about the Mafia Definitive Edition, which I'm assuming is Mafia 1. So the original Mafia game, like on the PS2, this is a remake. This is in my top 5 recent pickups, a video from 2 weeks ago, right? So I enjoyed this game, and it's one of the recent games that I bought like a month ago, right? So yeah, this game though, right? So basically like a crime drama, 1930s Italian style, a drama, right? Game, and yeah. First off, and again, subscribe if you like the content. This game here now, so if you guys like that style of 1930s, 40s, 50s, mafia, mobster, Italian mobster, a type drama, are you gonna really enjoy this game, right? So yeah. First off, this is a kind of like some sort of a GTA type game, style game, but it's older. So, but it's based on older times. And this one's more linear. It is more linear. It's not like, there is like an open world, but it's more linear. You're more so doing mission after mission after mission, right? So yeah. First off, like with lots of these games, these open world, sandboxes, right? You have to travel like from area to area, right? Without most games will have fast travel, but for the most part, if it's like a driving game or like a driving open world, where you have to drive from area to area, you gotta do that whole drive. This one actually makes you skip the drive, so you can skip all non-essential driving moments outside of chases. But Mafia Definitive Edition, that skip that fast travel to the next cutscene or to the next area, makes it so much more smoother, right? And yeah, so the cutscenes, the dialogue is done so well, the conflict, the setting is done so well. 1930s setting, so obviously different, like cars, environments, right? Society is very different then, and guns. So it kind of immerses you like in that area, right? In that setting and time, right? Similar thing to Red Dead 2. So Red Dead 2, like when you first play it, it's the same idea, right? Red Dead 2, Western style, cowboy style gameplay, right? And yeah. Mafia 1, a remake, does a very good job of that, right? And yeah, and the conflicts, the dialogue, the story, and yeah. Now there is the gameplay. So the gameplay, lots of driving, shootouts, right? Sometimes going to be slow walking areas where you're about to enter like a cutscene or a dialogue moment, and the game forces you to a slow walk. Just like in a lot of some of these narrative focused games, right? But like I said before, this one is more linear. It is a linear style game, right? But it does have some open world features in it. Like it does have open world collectibles. There's just a couple of collectibles you have to collect: magazines, posters, and this fox statue. There's 50 of these fox statues, and yeah. But those are optional. Those are optional for the most part. For the most part, you're doing the linear missions, and yeah. So the missions, you're rival gangs and the rival mafia mobster, and sometimes the police get involved, like in the actual game, right? And yeah, those are typical things that you'd see like in a crime drama open world, right? The Definitive Edition, I never played the original, so I never played the original, so Mafia 1, but I'm playing the remake. I know a little bit. I am familiar like with 2. I know 2 very well. Like I know Mafia 2 very well. And Mafia 2, so this is basically just like Mafia 2. It's just like in an earlier setting, different protagonist characters and all that. So yeah. But it's very interesting to see like where the series started, because this is pretty sure it's the same, it's the same, it's like the same game as the original. It's just newer features, obviously graphics, because this is a remake, visually more impressive and all that. But like it's very interesting to see, because I always played 2. I started with 2, then I always wanted to go back to 1. Like where did the series start? And yeah, this is different, in terms of story. It is a different story. It is different characters than in 2, but it's kind of interconnected universe, right? The same characters, the mafia family, they kind of intertwine with each other. And as you see like in 2, you through dialogue and background lore and all that, you actually hear about a crime family in the first game. So yeah, it is intertwined, connected, and yeah, I found that very interesting. So yeah, playing the game, the shootouts in the game, right? The shootouts. This has Mafia 3 mechanics. So basically, This is Mafia 3 mechanics. Mafia 3 was the most recent one before this. So the Mafia 3 in 2016 or 17, I believe, which came out around then. And so this is basically that. It's basically Mafia 1 with Mafia 3's mechanics. So the shooting is basically the same, right? The shooting, you shoot with one hand. Like if you're using like a handgun, you basically shoot like with one hand, right? There is the Tommy gun, shotguns, sniper rifles, and yeah, those are basic things. And those basic things in third-person shooters, right? I take cover, right? I believe this one does have blind fire or a hit fire, right? But yeah, a Mafia 1 remake, those basic things like in the shooter. There's lots of shootouts. As with lots of these crime drama, lots of shootouts like in the actual game. You're gonna be shooting enemies, right? There is very few, like rarely a melee sequences, and yeah. But for the most part, you are driving. Again. Now you can skip non-essential driving moments, but there's gonna be moments where you can't when you're in like a chase sequence, or you can't skip a dialogue moment where you're driving and the passenger is talking to you about something important, right? But Mafia, a Mafia 1 remake, though, for the most part, you can't skip those driving areas. Sorry, driving moments, right? This one, Mafia, so driving, there is this race. So there's a race in the game, a 1930s race car. So it's very different, very, very, very different than what you see now. So you do this race, you're in this racetrack. It is very cool. Like, this is the setting of this is very, very cool. The setup of it was very cool, right? But the race itself, I was kind of difficult because this game is not meant to be like a racing game, so the mechanics. But I found it very unique and very cool. But yeah. So Mafia 1, this one doesn't have any shops. There are no shops in the game as far as I know, like coffee shops or clothing stores or nothing like that, because this is basically the first game but remade, right? Unlike in 2, you could, go into food stores and coffee shops and all that, right? Clothing stores, right? This one does have a mechanic. I believe it does have a mechanic shop. Not so much a shop. You can store a car. So basically, you can store as many cars as you want in this shop, a garage. But there is no, for the most part, it's linear. It's an open world, but it's linear. There's nothing really to do in the open world outside of collectibles, right? So yeah, I found that kind of strange because again, this is like an older game remade, so it's not like a newer game where you see lots of open worlds now. Some of them, some of them now aren't really very good because they have, there's too much content and there's not enough meaning to the content or collectibles and yeah, so on. But yeah, this one, like I'm really starting to go back to more linear experiences. This one, again, it does have the open world, but again, it is more of a linear type style experience. The entire game is basically divided like into chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Right? And your character kind of goes, there's a flashback. Your character is talking to the detective, which is kind of weird because it kind of spoils the game for you. It kind of spoils the game, and he's basically reiterating everything what happened. Similar to if you played Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1, when you play Mason in Black Ops 1, then he's being, interrogated, and he has to narrate everything, he has to tell everything like what happened previous, like in the story. So you're basically telling, playing the flashback, right? So yeah, but very interesting though. Again, dialogue is very good, the facial animations, the voice acting, right? Visually though, I will say visually, since it does have Mafia, it does have Mafia's 3's art style and visuals. Some of the textures can look a little bland. I would say some of the textures in the buildings, the roads, or certain hair effects, but some of it can look like a little bland. I'm not sure if Unreal Engine made this, but right, there is some glitches like in this game, right? There's some of the mechanics itself, like in the driving, right? It's not really a clear cut, but again, these are older vehicles, much older. So the vehicles back then, based on my knowledge, they're more heavier. They're a lot heavier back then than they are now, right? So the vehicles kind of handle like in a certain way. They're heavier. They're harder at the turn, or brake sometimes. So yeah. So Mafia, a definitive edition, right? like, share, subscribe. Right? I'm currently trying to get platinum for this. I really want to get platinum. But you gotta collect all the wolf statues, and I hate collectible trophies. Specifically for trophies. Collectibles are fine, but the trophies for them, oh my god. So yeah, thanks for watching.